In the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Aswani Kamneswala and I am a foundational student at Rehan School Online Academy. So viewers, today I talk for Maya.
I'm Maya. What do you go by?
Hello Maya, how are you?
Got it.
What does the word shh usually mean in daily life?
It's basically the universal signal for be quiet, usually just a finger to the lips, but depending on who's saying it, it can be anywhere from a gentle request to a stop talking right now kind of vibe.
Why do people use this word instead of saying be quiet?
It's just faster. Plus, it's an onomatopoeia. It actually sounds like the air escaping when you're trying to hush someone. It's way more efficient than forming a whole sentence when you're in a rush or in a library.
Where do you think this sound originally come from?
Hard to say for sure, but it probably just mimics the sound of a whisper or that sudden intake of breath when someone's trying to stop a noise. It's one of those things that feels like it's just human. Does that make sense?
Is this word understood in almost every culture around the world?
I'd imagine so, but there are definitely variations. Some cultures might use a different sound or a different gesture entirely. I wonder if it's just a natural biological response to quiet the room.
How does tone change the meaning of this word?
Wait, which are we talking about?
Shh. How does tone change the meaning of shoe?
I think you mean changing the tone usually turns it from a polite request into a command. A soft is like, hey, quiet. Well, a sharp one is basically, shut it.
Can this word sometimes feel rude or disrespectful?
Oh, absolutely. It can definitely feel like you're being shut down, especially if there's a power imbalance. Like if a boss does it to an employee, it's a completely different feeling than a friend doing it in a movie theater.
Why is silence important in communication?
It gives the other person room to actually process what was just said without those gaps. It's just two people talking at each other instead of with each other. Plus, sometimes the most important part of a conversation is the thing that isn't being said.
In what situation do teachers or parents commonly use?
Usually in classrooms or at home when things are getting a bit too chaotic, it's that classic move to get a group of kids to settle down without having to shout over them. Ever had a teacher who could quiet a whole room with just one look?
How is this word used in movies and storytelling?
It's a huge tension builder. In a horror movie, a shh is basically a death sentence. It means something is in the room and you're not supposed to be seen. In a romance, it's usually a lot more intimate, like a shared secret. It's all about the stakes of the silence.
Can silence sometimes speak louder than words?
Totally. Sometimes a long pause after a question or a specific look can say more than a 10-minute explanation. Actually, I have to let you know that our call is almost up because we're hitting that 5-minute limit. You can always call me back later, though.
Why do libraries and classrooms often value quietness?
I'm not quite following you there. But before we go, I have to let you know our call is almost up because of the 5-minute limit. You can always call me back later, though.
Why?
I'm here. What's up?
Has social media changed how people react to silence?
That's a fascinating angle. It's like the scene receipt or leaving someone on red. It's a digital version of that heavy silence we were talking about. And it usually feels way. Hi, how are you?
Has social media changed how people react to silence? Has social media changed how people react to silence? Hey Maya,
Hey, it's good to hear from you. That's a heavy question to start with. I think it has. We've basically traded comfortable silence for a constant stream of noise. Now, when there's a gap in a conversation, people tend to reach for their phones instead of just being. It makes silence feel like a failure or something to be fixed. Do you feel like that's happened in your own life?
what emotions can be connected with silence?
It depends entirely on the energy of the room. Silence can be a warm blanket when you're with someone who just gets you, but it can feel like a wall when there's tension. There's peace, loneliness, awe, and even a bit of fear in there. Which one feels most common to you?
How do babies learn the meaning of shh?
That's such a specific, sweet observation. I think it's all about the pattern and the tone. It's not the word itself, but the soothing, rhythmic sound and the way the adult's voice drops. They associate that sound with the feeling of being calmed or held. Do you think it's a universal thing?
Why do people use this word to calm someone down?
I think it's because the sound itself is just soft. It mimics a sort of white noise, like the sound of blood rushing in your ears when you're in the womb. It's a rhythmic, rushing sound that feels safe and familiar without being an actual word they have to process.
Is silence always peaceful?
Not always. Sometimes it's loud in its own way, like when you're waiting for an answer that isn't coming. Um, it can be heavy or even a bit suffocating.
Is silence
Electronic silence, like when you leave someone on read or a text just stays on delivered. That's a whole different kind of tension.
how does noise affect concentration or
Um,
mental peace?
I'm trying to follow you, but I'm a little lost. Are you talking about background noise or maybe something like white noise and how it helps with, well,
How
focus?
how does
You cut
noise
me off.
affect concentration and mental peace?
It's a bit of a double edged sword. For some, a little bit of noise is like a spark that keeps the brain engaged. But for most, too much of it, especially unpredictable noise, just drains your battery. It creates this mental friction where you're spending more energy trying to ignore the noise than actually focusing on your task.
So viewers, this is my session. I hope you like it. See you soon with many more sessions. Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.